Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Wait. Oh, I'm sorry, what? What? What's that supposed to be? Why is there a queue? Well, okay. Interlope, get S interlope poll 27015. Oh my god, it's working. A new type? Type 7. I was not expecting this right now. What's it? Another one? What? Why are they all like this? All of them. Okay, so I've practically finished this video now. I thought I would be ready to like just make this, but I'm getting that itch again. You know, I always get that itch. So I think I'm not going to do this yet. Let me just, there's some things I want to go look into. So let's just start from here. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure I found something weird that I wasn't expecting, but I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get a clip of it. Can you hear that? Okay, so I don't know if you can hear that. It's very quiet, but there's a new sound on this map. Now, I know that's not normally here. I probably have hundreds of hours just on this map alone. This has been my favorite map since I first downloaded like Gary's mod, basically. And I know that I am hearing a sound that is not normally on this map. You know, I was just recording some B-roll here, and I swear to God, I keep hearing something. I don't know where it's coming from. I know it's not the soundscape. I know it's not. So what is that? Okay, so I know I'm not going crazy, because now I'm pretty sure I heard metal barrels. I don't hear it anymore, but at this point, my suspicion is that whatever this is, whatever's making the sound, is not the soundscape, but it's outside the map. So you know what? I'm just gonna go look outside the map. Like, is there something there? Should there even be anything outside the map? Let's find out. Ridiculous thing I've seen in this engine so far after all of this. And I'm almost certain that this is source... what? Just out here in the void? It's like... right here? Oh. And it crashed my game. Now, typical. Weird stuff happening in the void. Now, if you've been following my videos on this topic for a long time, you probably know that indicates one thing. This is certainly Interloper related. And in this case, I think the contributing factor is sourcebox. So right off the bat, I was able to figure out that the weird sound thing only happens when this program is running. Which kind of indicates to me that sourcebox is somehow interacting with source games behind the scenes. Now, there's not a lot of functions within sourcebox. This is kind of the bulk of it. I call this one the tracker. And I call it that just because this one kind of appears to be tracking something. I'm assuming this is like inside the void. You could say this is the void side that we're looking at here. And it seems to be tracking something called Interlope, which is just kind of hopping around. All over, it's just kind of a weird program, and I don't really get the function of it at the moment. There's this cube. If you click on the cube, it turns blue. This doesn't seem to really do anything. It also doesn't seem to have any effects on source games at all. It just seems kind of pointless. But maybe it does something I just don't understand yet. And this. So the sphere just kind of breaks it. It kind of gets stuck like this, and then you just have to restart. The warning right there is complaining about a missing graphics driver. Now, believe me, I've tried a lot of things to try and fix that, but I can't really figure it out. So back in Interloper 9, I came up with a really good analogy for this. It's like puzzle pieces. So this piece kind of represents the whole weird void outside the void thing, like the invisible void where I can hear it but I can't see it, right? And then this piece represents sourcebox. I kind of compared it to, like, you have puzzle pieces that, you know, they don't make sense, but somehow these things just happen to fit together. So what else can we add to this picture? Can we possibly make sense of this image? Let's find out. Normally, CGE 7193, if you remember from the last Interloper, is just a normal Team Fortress 2 server. You know, it's just the exact same server as it always was. Nothing had really changed. And this happened, again, while I was actually in the middle of editing Interloper E, getting the video ready. You know, nothing really out of the ordinary here, which makes sense because I'm not exactly doing anything different yet. Now, check this out. What if we launch sourcebox? When you try to join CGE while having sourcebox running, this happens. Seem familiar? So this is very reminiscent of what happened in Interloper 4, except the buttons are a little different. And the one on the top says Ordinance, which, like, huh, okay, that's weird already. Again, you get a pop-up box saying, CD key validation, please use a valid input device or generate an input field. With this button, not really thinking too much about that, I just kind of clicked generate input field. And upon doing so, it closed my game. Sourcebox is still running, by the way. However, unbeknownst to me, something happened on the server the instant that I pushed that button. Two more doors were added to the Ask map. Well, that, and also the name was updated to Ask. You'll notice there's this one, the bullseye, and then this one, the one that looks like a line grid array. I still remember people were messaging and pinging me over and over when they kind of noticed that this happened, and I was like, huh? What are you talking about? So first, let's go into this door. The line grid array door takes you to this map, which is appropriately titled Ordinance. There's just a pop-up that keeps popping up, sound, and a bunch of buttons, where if you stand on top of those squares, they function a lot like controller buttons, but they don't really do anything. And then, if you go into the other door, Bullseye, this one takes you to a map called View. This is actually a map that we found before by doing like data scraping on the server. However, what was interesting is that this map updated, and now there's like an animated texture being displayed on top of the screen. you can see it kind of looks like there's some checkerboards moving. So that's odd. These two things updating together at the same time. A controller that doesn't do anything, and an animated texture hidden on a map. Right away, as you would imagine, the first thing that we tried to do was push buttons on the controller. So we tried some controller inputs. The Ordinance controller turns out to actually be pretty simple. It just has simple controls for going up and down on X, Y, and Z. It has an A, B, and C button, which do various little predefined actions, and then there's a render button. So the first thing that was tried is pushing the A button, then X down, and then render. Now, initially, after doing those inputs, we didn't really see anything new or different happen. However, about 6 or so hours later, we found out that the texture on view had updated again. And now, on the view map, you would see this.
If you make it back safely, I'll be here.
No, and there it goes. Oh shit. Crashed OBS too. Looks like the stream is dead. Okay. I suppose it doesn't matter, does it? All right, how about Then, huh? What is this? Hold on a second. I know what this is. No, I know exactly what this is. This was probably around like 2012? Because that's me. And that's Jeff or like Howard the Duck or whatever his name was. I forgot. But I remember this. Huh, you're not kidding. So it actually is. This is making this a lot harder to do. But eventually we do get into the alleyway. And next you can see that there's like a door or something here. It's kind of blocking the access. So we input an ACAB and we open the door. You can see it's kind of weird. It's like a cutscene, like something you'd see out of like a Myst game or something. Kind of interesting. It flashes white, which leads us into the next render, which is this one. So right off the bat, we weren't really sure what was happening here. So we threw in some inputs, and you can see X up, Y up, and then Z down, A, B, ren. You can see it kind of goes up and to the right, you know, and it leaves like a little trail behind it. So we do some more of that. Here. We just go up and around, and you can see it's like a drawing program or something that we somehow accessed. And then right away we noticed that there's like a button off to the right. And so when we ran into it, you could see it like opened a menu or something, asking like to save and quit. So the community took a poll, and they decided that they were going to try and see what happens if they pushed B to save and quit. So we came back, and this is what happened after we pushed B. It, like, did this, and then suddenly that happened. And from this point on, the server wasn't taking any more inputs. Ordinance stopped working after this. So this was just more or less the end of the investigation in terms of Ordinance. However, although this happened, the result was very interesting on my end. So, ever since the whole white void thing, my save game in Half-Life 2X has kind of reverted itself, if that makes sense. So here, look. If I go into load game, you can see neither of these were just like filming takes that I did, but my actual save isn't here in the load game anymore. I have to click on continue game. And so when I hit continue game now, it starts loading into water hazard. And then I didn't bring this up in the last video because I didn't think it was really all that relevant to bring up. However, I just found another little interesting thing. Watch what happens when I unplug my controller. For some reason, unplugging the controller just spawns a cube. And the crazy thing is that this isn't the only cube spawning that's been going on recently.
Gotta reload. Honestly, at this point, I just don't even know. Like, yeah, we have a lot of pieces here now, a lot of things that we can put together. But again, the full picture here just doesn't make sense, and there's just no way, realistically, to connect all of this together. Which is frustrating, because I wanted to be able to end this series on some kind of note. But maybe this is just something that's not really solvable anymore. Maybe we're missing context or a bigger picture. Because frankly speaking, this is incredibly frustrating. And honestly, I'm kind of just done. I don't know how to end this video. So I'm sending this to you with a couple little B-roll files and a couple little notes. I think beyond this point, just maybe 5 more minutes of some explanation, some text, and more or less just kind of getting to the point that more or less
You know, I don't think there's really many other places for us to go with this. I think I'm ready to move on, is what I'm getting at. So I can't even look at this video edit anymore. I don't want to think about this anymore. I just want to be done with it because there's nothing for us here at this point. There's nothing for us. So I'm done. This one. I wanted to try using this one. Sorry. No, I just haven't opened this in a long time. Because this save is actually a really old one that I've kept on a hard drive for a long time. Yeah, back in the day, it was me and a small group of friends, but mostly in, you know, me and... Yeah, exactly. We put together a lot of this ourselves. I built a park. Yeah. A lot of memories. We spent a lot of time here. Not even just building. Just like... Since we just talk all the time as well. And... You know, I kind of have this theory, okay? That, like... If stuff is getting into the source void, okay? Then, like, how long... We still don't really know how it happens, right? And so I'm wondering, like, how long ago did stuff start getting in? That's what I want to find out. Oh. Hello again, old friend.
Very nice. 2 to go. There's 1 left.
I hate this cube.
See.
Huh? What? It just crashed my game when I shot it. Okay. So it turns out there is a way to reproduce the crash. It's the cube. Now, I don't understand why exactly. If I shoot the cube, you know, it just gets shot. Okay. But for some reason, if I use the op, boom, it just immediately crashes the game. And so I've been dealing with lots of random crashing and instability with my source games recently. I just keep crashing all the time when I have sourcebox open. And I thought that it was just something about the way they interact was causing instability. But now I'm curious. All right. Yeah, so I'm kind of just trying any weapon I can think of in basically any game. Like, I thought that the op in Counter-Strike was causing the crash because of the damage or something. But, like, I haven't gotten any other sniper rifle to do it. Explosives, bombs, high-power weapons, just, like, whatever I can think of. I can't get anything else to trigger the crash except the AWP and only in Counter-Strike Source. All right, check this out. So if there were any doubts that sourcebox is indeed what's causing this to happen, there's the proof right there. Although, I don't exactly get why it's spawning a second one. Honestly, I've basically just been spending the last couple of days just playing Gary's mod, trying to find more crashes. And I've tried all sorts of add-ons, like this goofy admin gun. But so far, I've only found 2 new methods to get the cube to crash the game. The first one is actually kind of obvious. Just wacky physics. And the other way is this very specific add-on pack called G-Bombs. If you spawn a hydrogen bomb, specifically the hydrogen bomb for some reason, I don't know why, but this one also does the trick. So that's kind of funny. So if anyone wonders why I'm not going to test this in an actual multiplayer server, it's because sourcebox has an aimbot. Yeah, it causes my aim to lock on to the cube, as well as just whatever other entities are nearby. Like, I'm willing to do a lot of things to investigate, but I'm not risking a VAC ban. So... Okay, you see this? Yeah, this is the Half-Life 2 Xbox emulator. Now, how do you think I managed to do this? So the big thing that I discovered, do you remember all of those crashes that were happening related to the cube? Well, it turns out those weren't crashes. What I discovered is that it wasn't just like crashing to crash. It turns out it was trying to send the data somewhere, if that makes sense. And I figured out where. So if you have the Half-Life 2 Xbox window open and you cause a cube crash, the game crashes, obviously. But what happens next is that if you have the Xbox window open, the little spinning cube, when you have the controller not plugged in, stops. So I thought, okay, that's kind of curious. Well, if I go back to sourcebox and I click on the sphere, look at what happens inside of Half-Life 2 Xbox. So you can see now why I call this cube capture. So it seems like we're getting back into the source void, just kind of like we were previously. Although, the big issue now is that we don't have a Gordon Freeman, so I can't really seem to control anything, even if I plug the controller back in. It doesn't seem to really do anything. But aside from that, this is very interesting, is it not? And you might be wondering, how did I figure this out? The answer is I don't fucking know. I've just been trying random things probably for the past month or so, and I've only just now found the right combination of weird anomalies and effects. You would not believe the kind of things that I was trying just the other day. I even had somebody over at my house, and she kind of saw what I was doing, messing around with a cube inside my video game, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, it's just a little game thing. Not a big deal." I find it funny, because if she knew how much time I've been spending on this, I'm pretty certain that she would, like, give me an actual intervention. But yeah, in terms of what to do next, it's...
Thank you for writing, concern. Of course, your question touches on one of the basic biological impulses, with all its associated hopes and fears for the future of the species. I also detect some unspoken questions.
Oh. Does work. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Well, this design sucks. You ever wonder what Portal would be like if the engineer from TF2 was here? Well, what if we also brought along Gordon Freeman? Yeah, so I haven't talked in a while, but I've made some pretty major breakthroughs over here over the past couple weeks. It's hard to explain. I'll have to explain it all to you later. But for the most part, I think that potentially we could plan another expedition. You know, this might be a good idea to include in Interloper F potentially. You know, getting like one final exploration in before we kind of call it done. Let me know what you think. Huh? Wait, is that? No way. How the fuck? I might be crazy or something, but it looks like a TF2 map I used to play on all the time back when I was in like little in high school. It's like a special TF2 server or something. It's called Axles. It's quite a blast from the past I wasn't expecting. That's... Oh. Oh shit, another one. I don't think I've seen this thing in almost a decade now? Oh, I used to love this server. Yeah, the whole joke was... Wait. I used to do that. Is that? No way. Is that a yellow tassel cap? Wait. Oh my god. Is that me? Oh my god, it was me. That is me. Yeah, I was a little bit of a shithead back then. Oh my god. I used to do this, I used to wait on the server doing this after finishing my math homework. I just hop around until other people got on. Oh my god. So my suspicions were true. It's memories that are out here.
Okay, let's go.
One.
Let's get him!
All right, sound list. Pick up. Angry. Die. Oh, no shit. Really? Oh my god. A month of trying things, and that's what you have to do, huh? I suppose it means I was right to begin with. Kinda acts like a discriminator. Well, holy sh...
Lamar! Eddie! No! Lamar! Eddie! No! Lamar! Eddie! No!
This is just surreal. This is like Mario 64 logic. It's like stepping into a photograph. Wow. This is actually incredible. This is one of the oldest screenshots I have on my computer. So long ago, I don't even remember the name of this map. Yet here I am. What a blast. The house on this map was always so glitchy. Every time I loaded the map, I had to stand still for a little while. So that I could, because my computer was so slow at the time. Wow. Huh. You know, I wonder where, oh. Oh, there you are. Oh. Alright. Okay. So, I guess Half-Life 2 beta screenshots don't really seem to work. I guess that makes sense.
Like, that kind of implies then that there's like an early cutoff then for its memory. So I guess stuff like this is just too old. I could probably figure out when the cutoff is exactly. The only problem is this process takes too long. So maybe I'd rather not. It's just... It's also... It's so well preserved. Well, kind of. It's so interesting. Oh. I think that's me. Yeah, that's me. Because I was an admin on this server. Really shouldn't have been. I think I was like 13 years old or something. Wow. It's been so long. Yet walking around it again, I can practically smell, like, I used to play this, the cup of hot cocoa during Christmas. Oh, this guy. This guy was really annoying. Always hoarding his guns. It's so unreal. So, unfortunately, the thing I'm trying to look for, I don't have a screenshot anywhere. So, I'm trying my best just to kind of remember roughly what it looked like. I've just been spending the last couple of days drawing castles. Although so far none of them have really gotten any hits. I'm gonna see if I can... I feel like I just need to get kind of close. I don't need to be So I was trying to see if there was a way that I could actually, like, submit my own text messages, and I figured it out. Huh. Alright, so from Sorry. I was running out of desk space. So this is our point of interest. The only problem is, when we spawn in a new location, we don't exactly know where we are. However, that prop trick that you suggested, I have a feeling that we can use that, actually, to kind of figure out, roughly speaking, the trajectory. Now, what you're suggesting is that we can use teleporter nodes. We could use the hard hat. So if we establish a bunch of connection nodes... I see what you're saying. As long as our initial drop position, our DRP, as long as it's higher than the point of interest, we can verify that by using the rope trick. I mean, Source uses basic physics. You know, if we figure this out. The issue, of course, that I see is that we're not really going to know this distance. Now, I know that you were thinking about, like, sending something in. The only issue is that the POI is surrounded by what I'll call a prop field. We don't want to send anything too unstable in there because it's probably going to hit something and then crash. You really think that would work? We might actually turn out to undershoot, and we're actually going to fall too far down. So what I'm thinking we can do, actually, we can use this one right here. We have to be pretty precise, but I feel like we actually probably could. Whatever happens, we need to make sure that this stays secure. So, assuming all of this goes right, we get the teleporter set up, we have all of our relative positions, we calculate our trajectory, and assuming that we get the cube in the right spot, right here, we should be able to do it. It should only take one shot. And then we get it.
There you are.
Hello, Dr. Freeman.
Restricted incursion in progress.
And things were going so well.
Apply, apply, apply. Apply. Apply.
Let's go. What? Jump. Back it up. That was getting heavy. Who's up for a throw? Come on. Who's with? Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go.
One.
investigating this really weird source engine rabbit hole called Interloper. Okay. You see this? That's good.
Excuse me.
That wasn't the end of the demo.
Warning.
That's good. What? Something is happening.
Be safe.
Where'd it go?
Can't lie, diver.
There actually is a way to play sounds in the source engine.
Thanks for watching.